video. So a small little mod here tonight. I wanted to try this for a while, but I'll explain why as to why I didn't do it in the past and why I'm doing it now. But this is the Mach V Motorsports Accessport event mount. Now, I know you guys are familiar with this. I know there's other versions of them out there. So let's open this up. I'll show you, what it looks like and everything and why I decided to go with this one over any other brand or any other one out there. So as you know, these exist. There's another brand out there that I'm not gonna, name names or anything like that, but there's a couple other companies and brands that make these via 3D printer. Now, it's a great concept, and I love the idea of it, but I hate the finish of it. 3D printing, it doesn't look good. It's very rough around the edges. It looks very plasticky, it looks very cheap. And I just never was crazy about the design of it. And one of the things that I really didn't like in that design, in the original one, was the actual clip where the Accessport wire goes through. In order for the wire to stay put, it actually pushes on the actual clips of the side of the wire. And it's known to actually, release from the Accessport. It's known to cause issues with the Accessport, and I wasn't crazy about that. So with this one, as you can see, it's not 3D printed. It's much nicer. The finish is, it looks like the actual plastic in the, in the current stock vent. So, it looks very OEM, very clean. But as you can tell, if you look in there, there's no clips or anything like that to damage the wire. It simply just feeds through, and you can either leave it there, you can pull it out, you can do whatever you want. And I'm much more comfortable doing that than having that clamp and clip style in the other ones. Odds are I'm going to keep the Accessport in here at all times. Unless I'm, parking somewhere or something like that, I'll take it out. So I'm not worried about taking it in and out all the time, and that's not really a big concern for me. The quality is way nicer. I know it's just plastic, but if you saw the other 3D printed ones, they are absolutely, I'm not a big fan of them. The Accessport just sits right in here. You feed the wire through there. It doesn't have a big giant back or anything like that. There's nothing obnoxious. It's very sleek. It's very OEM-like, if you want to call it that. The vents are integrated as well, so they'll, you could actually defrost your window if you're using that. It's not going to leave the vent useless. So one of the concerns that people had with the other style was that the Accessport actually was pretty much open to the vent. So when the heat was on, it was kind of blasting right on the actual Accessport, and people were concerned that it may damage the actual Accessport over time. But if you look in here, there's actually a block off plate. So the Accessport sits in this little cradle right here, and if you turn it around, there's actually like a little wall, so it kind of defers the actual air from blowing straight onto the Accessport, or the heat, I should say. And you won't have any damages or anything like that while keeping it there at all times. But such nice quality. I mean, it doesn't have that 3D printed look. It's not all rough around the edges. It's nice and smooth. Looks very OEM, super clean. And that's certainly my style. Like I said, the other ones have the huge backs. They're 3D printed. It's just, I don't know. It never really sat well with me. It is a little on the expensive side. Again, look, it's just a piece of plastic, nothing too crazy. I mean, obviously there's a lot of R&D that went into this to make sure it fit well and looks good. And obviously the material and the finish was nice. But this came out to, I think, around 90 bucks shipped, which is pretty insane for just 2 pieces of plastic. Then again, you're paying for that R&D, you're paying for the product, which I don't mind, but I thought it was a little on the expensive side. The other ones are around, 30, 40 bucks or something like that. So it's a little bit more reasonable, but this I found a little excessive. But then again, there's nothing like this on the market right now, at least, this style and this clean. So I was more than happy to pay for it. So let's go ahead, look in the car, and I'll show you what I've been using as an Accessport holder. This is what I have been using as an Accessport holder. It is an old phone mount. It is the iAudi Flex 2. They do not sell these anymore. This was something that I got many years ago that I used as a phone holder in previous cars. And it just so happened that it fit the Accessport very well. It just so happens to have a little, flat area in the cubby right here, and just suction cups right underneath. You can position it anywhere, and then it just opens up like this. You can tilt it any direction that you want. It's really nice. It's obviously great as a phone mount as well, because that's what it was designed for. But like I said, I just be using it as an Accessport mount or Accessport holder, whatever you want to call it. And it's been really nice, and it doesn't get in the way or anything. There's plenty of room when I'm shifting. The only negative part about it is it does take up some of the cubby space right here. So, when I usually put my sunglasses in there, So when I kind of have to reach around it. Plus I have the really nice Overland Designs Alcantara trim pieces, and this right here kind of hides some of it. So I figured might as well get the Accessport out of here, try it in the new area up there and see what I think of it. I might use it as an actual phone mount, which would be nice to have an area to keep my phone, because usually I just place it on here. So it, just kind of sits in this area. Sometimes I put it in the actual cubby, but actually having a place to put my phone would be really nice. I use Spotify through CarPlay and all that, so it would be really nice to kind of have a dedicated area where my phone is sitting, and I don't have to worry about it moving around and everything like that. So the one thing that I have to do is actually reroute the wire. Right now I have it obviously in the OBD2 port and is run underneath the steering wheel and just kind of up the side over here. So basically all I got to do is just kind of pull out the wire. I'm going to run it up through this area where the vent is, which I'll show you on that side. It doesn't seem like many people have gotten this new one yet, mainly because I think the price, but if it's worth it and it looks clean, I'll definitely recommend it. So let's go ahead and install it and see what I think. All right, so first thing we need to do is actually remove this vent. It's super simple. You just want to take something soft, nothing metal or sharp or anything that you're going to damage your actual dash with. So it's just a matter of finding a corner or a place where you can get the pry tool in. I'm probably going to do this off camera because it's kind of hard to do with one hand. But once I get it popped out, I will show you just how I did it. Just took a little bit of figuring out where, the actual clips were or what worked best. But what I found was taking my pry tool and just kind of getting in the front and then popping it up, and then just slides right out. So if you see, the clips are in the front and it has a little insert in the back, so it just kind of slides in, and pretty simple. So once you kind of get under this area, it pops right up. All right, so we got the stock one out of the car. I just wanted to show you the difference. This is stock and this is the new Mach V Motorsports mount. This one's a little bit more dull, not as shiny, but it's a very similar finish. The overall design and everything, the hole in the back, it's very similar to this one. Basically what you're gonna do, again, I'm gonna show you how to install it in the car, but I just wanted to explain it outside the car first. What we're going to do is actually just slip this into the slot, then lay this piece on top so it kind of sandwiches it between the dash. Screw the screws in and you're done. The other style, the other brand, the other companies, it's a little bit different install, as you need to actually put a piece underneath. You need to fish your hand in there and then screw it down, which is a little more difficult. This one's a little bit more straightforward. You don't have to do any digging or anything. It's literally, you do the whole entire install right on top of the dash, which is very nice. So let's bring this over to the car and I'll show you how it slips in and looks in the car. So I ran my Accessport cable through. All I did was just plug it in the port down there and just ran the wire up. Super simple. I just fished it up through the hole here. I have a bunch of slack here, so I'm going to tuck the excess in once I get it into the new mount. But all we're going to do, kind of hard doing this one-handed, what we're going to do is just slip the wire through the bottom hole there. You're kind of have to twist it in a little bit, and then you're just going to pop it into the vent. There we go. So now it's sitting in the area perfect. The really nice part about it is it clips into the actual vent tubing. So, it's in there very firm. It's not going anywhere. Then we're just going to slip the Accessport cable through the top there, line it up, and then screw the two Allen screws in, and we are done. So let me go ahead and screw those in. And then I'm going to tuck the excess wire that we don't need back into the dash, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, so I got the screws screwed in. As you can see, the fitment is freaking perfect. Kind of hard to show you the back and everything, but as you can see, there's no weird gaps or anything. It fits absolutely perfect. It snugs up really tight against all the edges and everything. It's not popping up anywhere. It screws down nice. Just keep in mind, you don't want to screw this too tight, because then, this is still plastic. You don't want it to kind of bend as you, tighten it too much. But here's the wire. You kind of can tuck it in like that. When it's not in use. So now I'm going to take my Accessport and just plug it into the cable. So I have excess here. I can just plug it in. I don't have to worry about, plugging it in while it's in the mount. Clipped in. And I'm simply just going to pop it into place. And voila. Done. Perfect. In there. Nice and tight. Super sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I don't have the car on, so it's not going to read anything. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. It looks really clean. It's in perfect visibility when I'm driving. Now I can remove this one over here. Now I got the whole entire cubby back, so I have plenty of space to put my sunglasses, wallet, whatever. And now I can see this whole part of the Overland Designs Alcantara trim, because I was never able to before. I got no wires coming up the side or anything, so really, really clean, and it fits really snugly in there. So I mean, it's super sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I can fit my entire hand between the Accessport and the windshield, so it's not like it's, you know, hitting or anything. There's plenty of space all around it. That was one of my concerns. I know a lot of people with the other brand have concerns of, you know, when they're taking in and out and everything, it's super close to the windshield, so it's kind of hard to maneuver when it's coming in and out. But man, really happy with this. It looks very OEM, very clean. My only gripe with it is I wish it wasn't as shiny. It looks a little bit cheaper. If it was kind of, you know, the OEM vent finish, it would look a little bit cleaner. But honestly, this is as clean as it gets. And for the price, I definitely think it's worth it. Super snug, nice and clean fitment. Really happy with it because now when I'm driving, I don't have to, you know, peek down and see my data and everything. I could just look to the left and see it there. So super cool. Really liking that. And no, don't ask me if that's for sale because I'm still using it and I'm not going to sell it. But now I put it on the other side as a phone mount, so all I got to do is just swing it out and I can put my phone right in there and it'll sit nicely in that area, so I have access to it, you know, for changing songs or whatever I need it for Google Maps and all that stuff. So yeah, really cool. Love that thing. Too bad they don't sell it anymore. They sell an updated version of it. It's the iAudi Flex 3, I think. I do have it in the description below if you're interested in that as well. But they don't sell this exact one anymore, unfortunately. If you guys have any questions, be sure to ask them below. But yeah, in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you in the next one.